So it's a bright but windy Saturday here in Southern Hampshire. Full rain was forecast. We've had a few drops of rain, but the wind is a bit of an issue. Not to worry. So we're bottling some cider from the 2024 harvest here in this orchard. I think I've told a story of this orchard before. We started planting apple trees here in the winter of 92-93 with an emphasis on dessert apples, eating apples, old-fashioned varieties like Ribston, Pippin, Ellison's orange, Kidd's orange red, Orleans Renette, Pitmaster pineapple, and various other uncommon apples, apples like Lord Lambourne, and some newer ones as well. Fiesta, which was renamed Red Pippin, it's a new apple, never quite caught on. Later we planted some specific cider apples, which you can see over this way, and I can see, look, the apples I can see from where I'm standing right now is Huysgen's Golden Renette. That's a Dutch apple. It's slightly flattened. It's a late keeping apple, slightly unusual texture. The apple next to it is Adam's Pear Main, which is a Gloucestershire apple, quite a long keeper. One of the reasons that we were quite keen to grow some very old varieties is an apple, say from the 1800s, will have been grown and cultivated and loved and shared and appreciated by growers for many, many years before the advent of modern crop protection chemicals. A lot is talked about that, and I don't want to go off on the subject big time, but there is a reason why fruit growers use crop protection chemicals, and that is because there are many, many pests and diseases which would like a share of your lovely apples, and sometimes can destroy the whole crop. So our ancestors in eras before they had insecticides and fungicides they could spray on their fruit to protect them, they naturally selected, or they intelligently selected, those fruits which had natural pest and disease immunity. So some of the older apples have got some good genetics, quite apart from flavour, of pest resistance, which is very important. Pitmaster pineapple over there. Just beyond there is a very old variety called May Queen, very long keeper. We have a lot of cider fruits here, specifically grown for cider. Just as wine is an alcoholic drink made from fermented fruit juice, grapes, so by exactly the same token, cider is an alcoholic drink made from fermented fruit juice, in this case apples. So cider is actually much more analogous to wine than it is to beer. It's a completely different kind of drink. Nothing against beer, you understand. But anyhow, you can make cider out of any apple, just as you can make wine out of any grape. But some grapes will make better wine than others, and some apples will make better cider than others. And a lot of it's in the blending. Of course, people will talk all day and all night about this. The West Country boys will insist that you can only grow proper cider in the West Country with West Country apples. But you can't blame them for feeling proud that way, but it's not quite true. They say you can only make perry. Perry is analogous to cider, only it's made from pears. Some say you can only make really good perry within sight of May Hill. May Hill is not a very high hill, but it's on the border of Shropshire and Gloucestershire, I think, or is it Gloucestershire and Herefordshire? I can't remember. It's not very high, but because the land around it's quite flat, you can see a long way from it. You can see the big bend in the Severn, and they say that good perry really is only made within sight of May Hill. Very interesting place, May Hill. I've been up there a couple of times. Interesting, Gerald Finzi, one of my favourite composers, his ashes were scattered at the top of May Hill, and it's a place of mystery and awe. Wonderful show of bluebells there as well. But anyway, we are a long way from May Hill. We definitely can't see May Hill from here, but we make some quite nice perry. Just for ourselves, that is. Anyway, so last year was not the finest year on record. It was very wet last year. If only this year we could have had some of last year's rain, and last year could have had some of this year's sunshine. there we go. We can't organise the weather. So we had some reasonable crop of fruit last year, and the cider was made with a usual mixture of bittersweet West Country cider apples and dessert apples. I don't keep very good records, but what went into this cider? Yarlington Mill, Tremlitz Bitter, Crimson King, those are all West Country cider apples. Kids Orange Red, Sunset, Suntan, those are all aromatic dessert apples. Probably some Lord Lambourne, maybe a little bit of Bramley. To get the acid up, you need enough acid. One of these days I'll keep better records, but anyway. So this cider, it was fermented, duly left over quite a long period of time. I racked it off the yeast and blended it all up and added a little bit of champagne yeast and sugar recently. Hopefully, hopefully get a bit of secondary fermentation going. Okay, that's about all I've got to say right now.